This is the Ioniq 6. Striking, affordable, efficient. Hyundai's shot across Tesla's bow. You may remember its baby brother, the sort of an SUV but really more of a hatchback Ioniq 5. Our MotorTrend SUV of the year, the first EV to win the award. We like that car. We like this one too. Like the Ioniq 5 on which it's based, this car can be purchased with the choice of 2 battery packs, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, 1 or 2 motors. Unlike the Ioniq 5, however, this car is slipperier than a soap salesman, in an aerodynamic sense I mean, with a drag coefficient of just 0.22, and that, crucially, means more range. And that's the name of the game with the Ioniq 6. It's not the quickest, it's not the most luxurious, and it's not the most stylish. What it is the first EV to come along and legitimately challenge Tesla. Tesla has enjoyed a dynastic reign over the market for the past decade. Now though, the pack is catching up. The new frontrunner? The Koreans. The Bolsheviks are at the door, Mr. Musk. And the Ioniq 6 is the car Hyundai hopes is going to turn doubters into believers. This one uses their top-shelf 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery and dual motors, developing 320 horsepower and 446 pound-feet of torque. Thanks to a rear-biased all-wheel drive system, this dual-motor version of the Ioniq 6 rockets from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. Wow! And that's an interesting point, actually, the performance of this car. Whilst it's not quick by EV standards, it's still pretty quick. I mean, newsflash, all EVs are quick. And yes, being a sedan with a drag coefficient of 0.22, it certainly looks sporty. Indeed, Hyundai themselves say that this is a car which is more driver-focused than the Ioniq 5. However, this isn't a sports sedan. What it is a very boring car. And I mean that in a good way. The fact that it's an EV isn't prohibitive. What Hyundai have done fantastically well with the Ioniq 6 is made a product which, quite honestly, you forget is an EV. Until that is, you're doing 80 miles an hour and you decide, I'm gonna put my foot down and see what happens. And at 80, it just keeps going. 90, 95, that's 100. And remember, this is not a quick car. But they really have gone after the efficiency. And that, I think, is the masterstroke of this car. That's what they've got so right. Yes, it has the party trick, it has the 4.4 seconds to 60, but more than that, it has range. Which means that even after all of this reckless, high-speed driving, I still have more than enough juice to get back to LA. No need to start panic searching for chargers in the Ioniq 6. I love the retro design of the Ioniq 5. So when it came to the Ioniq 6, I sort of didn't get it. In photographs at least, it looks ungainly. It's way too long, with loads going on at the back and the front, and not a lot going on in this middle section. But when I picked this car up and got close to it for the first time, I completely fell for it. This limited trim is the highest Ioniq 6 grade available, and as such, it appoints the vehicle with extra goodies that make it feel more special. Upgrades include standard power folding side mirrors, powered front passenger seats, ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, and 8-speaker Bose premium audio. This car has the optional $1,000 Gravity Gold paint, which is very nice. And it also has the 20-inch wheels, which again are very nice, but they scrub so much of the range from the car that honestly, you'd have to be crazy to spec them. How much, I hear you ask? A lot. This all-wheel drive model could have 316 miles of range were it to be on the 18s. But as it's on the 20s, that figure drops below the magic 300 all the way to 270. The cheaper single-engine rear-wheel drive long-range model is almost certainly the Ioniq 6 to have, with a EPA-verified range of 361 miles. That is 3 miles more than the Tesla Model 3. Back to this interior for a sec. I really do love it in here. The Ioniq 6 is borderline luxurious. The cabin is super quiet, even at freeway speeds, keeping tyre and wind noise to an absolute minimum. The seats are wildly comfortable, and the ride quality is firm, but supple enough to dismiss most any road imperfection you come across. In our MotorTrend testing, the Ioniq 6 did a quarter mile in 13.2 seconds at a trap speed of 103 miles per hour. And like I said earlier, a 0 to 60 time of 4.4 seconds. Plenty fast enough for a family sedan. And like I said, like I keep saying, that's not what this car is about. So the fact that it still posts pretty terrific numbers should just be a bonus, in addition to great range. This car kind of does a bit of everything, and does it very well. Yeah, the brakes are not, I mean, they work, but they're not confidence inspiring. You don't know when to lean on them. The steering's pretty nice. I quite like how heavy the steering is. Sport mode does, oh, there go the wheels, there go the tires. Oh! You really can still be a lout in this car if you want to be. Remarkable, what a car. It feels very planted. It's lovely to have a lower center of gravity. Wow, listen to that noise! What a cacophony of great sound. This may be the first EV where the sound design is engaging enough to not make me miss the absence of an internal combustion engine. As you'd expect, it's got all manner of very clever torque vectoring and smart ways that it applies the brakes so that when you're entering a corner spiritedly, it can work to get you around the corner as safely and crucially as efficiently as possible. Oh God, there's a lot, quite significant G-forces when you really push a car like this. I'm about to say hello to my breakfast. Wow, this car grips. You know, for a not sporty car, it feels pretty damn sporty to me. Compared to the Tesla, well, personal feelings aside, the Ioniq 6 is just a better vehicle. It drives better, it rides better, it looks better. It's a clean sweep. Crucially, for me, it still feels like a car. It's tactile, it's familiar. In this new era of electric motoring, I don't think there's anything wrong with yearning for a few things which remind us where we're coming from. The interior, the switchgear, the infotainment, nothing is different for the sake of being different. There are no silly gimmicky names, no fart mode. Even the exterior styling is out there, but it's not too much. Honestly, if you told me this was a Citroën concept car from the mid-90s, I'd believe you. This car is remarkably unremarkable, but that is sort of the point. Once you get past the initial buzzword-filled talking points which come from any EV, the instant torque, the regen braking, it really is just like any other normal car, albeit one made to a very high specification. This is a modestly priced EV that I actually want to drive. There's a first.